Welcome to Omni DAW, a professional digital audio workstation written in the Rust language by Tomasz Głuc. In this first part of the tutorial, we will go through the entire interface of the application step by step so that you know what you are looking at and what each element of the window is for. You do not need to memorize anything right now. This is a general overview, an introduction to all sections. The details of each one will be covered in the following parts of the course. At the very top of the application window, you can see a long toolbar. It is divided into 6 groups from left to right. Group 1, Transport. The first group is Transport, that is, playback control. Play/stop, a single button that changes shape. A triangle when stopped, a square when playing. Clicking it starts playback of the entire project or stops it. On stop, it also resets all queued clips and restores effects to their idle state. Record, a circular icon. It is used to record clips that go directly into the arrangement view as finished track segments. When recording is active, the icon lights up red, and while waiting to align to a loop, it flashes orange. Wave/MIDI, a small button that appears next to record for tracks with a MIDI instrument, for example, Tomic. It lets you choose whether to record the result as an audio file, wave, or as MIDI event clips. Clicking it toggles the mode. Group 2, Position Display. A dark block with a position display in the format bar, beat, tick. It shows the current playhead position with a resolution of 960p PQ. Group 3, Global Controls. BPM. The project tempo in beats per minute, range 40 to 240. Changing the tempo on the fly automatically rescales clips in the arrangement view. Vol. The main output volume knob of the application. Swing. The percentage of rhythmic swing, 0 to 100%, giving beats a looser, more humanized feel. Groove. A drop-down with swing presets. Straight, none, and MPC patterns at 54%, 60%, 67%, and 71%. Time signature, 2 fields, the numerator, 1 to 16, and the denominator, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. For example, 4/4 or 7/8. Metering. A drop-down for the level meter mode. Peak, standard, K12, K14 or K20. Bobcat's K-system standards for different applications. P, the punch recording button. When active, recording only captures audio within a defined bar range. Punch in/punch out. Clicking enables the mode, after which the I and O fields appear to set the in and out points. T-map opens the tempo map editor. Lets you add BPM automation points at specific bar positions. The tempo can change during the track. TS-map opens the time signature map editor. Lets you change the time signature during the track. For example, switching from 4/4 to 7/8 from a specific bar. Group 4, Project. New project, shortcut Control+N. Save the project to an .omni file. Shortcut Control+S. Load an existing project. Shortcut Control+O. Export, render to a WAV file with a choice of bit depth, 16 or 24 bits. Group 5, Edit. Undo the last action. Shortcut Control+Z. History of up to 200 steps. Redo the undone action. Shortcut Control+Y. Group 6, View. Session/arrange. Switches between the session view and the arrangement view. Shortcut tab. MIDI, keyboard. Enables a mode in which the computer QWERTY keyboard acts as a MIDI keyboard. The key rows Z to M and Q to I play notes across 2 octaves. The shortcut Control+arrow up/down changes the octave. Key map mode for assigning keyboard keys to clips and scenes. Shortcut Control+K. Once enabled, you click a clip or scene, press the chosen key, and from that point, that key launches that clip. Escape exits the mode. MIDI in opens a list of available hardware MIDI devices connected to the computer. Clicking lets you choose which device Omni should listen to. Gear icon. Settings opens the application settings window. It has 4 tabs. Audio, choice of output device, driver, ASIO available on Windows for the lowest latency, sample rate, 44,100 to 192,000 Hz, and audio buffer size, from 64 to 4,096 samples. Lower buffer equals lower latency but higher CPU load. After changing settings, a restart button for the audio engine appears. Plugins. Plugin hosting mode. In process means the plugin runs in the same process as Omni. 0 overhead, maximum performance. Sandbox runs the plugin in a separate process. If the plugin crashes, it does not crash the entire application. The change applies only to newly loaded plugins. Shortcuts. A list of keyboard shortcuts with the ability to change them. Clicking a shortcut enters list. The central, largest part of the window is the session view. This is the heart of Omni. This is where you build your track. Adding tracks. On the right side of the session view, visible immediately on application startup, before you add any track, there are two buttons for adding new tracks. Plus MIDI adds a new MIDI track. This is a track for virtual instruments and synthesizers. After adding it, you can assign any instrument to it, a built-in synthesizer or an external clap/VST3 plugin. Clips on this track contain MIDI notes. Plus Audio adds a new audio track. This is a track with a built-in sampler, designed for playing back audio files, WAV, MP3, FLAC, OGG, or recording sound from a microphone. Clips on this track contain audio. Tracks. Each column from the left is one track. A track can be a MIDI instrument, for example a synthesizer, or an audio track onto which you load a sample or record sound from a microphone or guitar. Above each column is a header with the track name and color-coded level meters. On the right side of each track, next to the clips, you can see a row of 4 small buttons. M, mute, silences the track. S, solo, silences all other tracks except this one. R, record arm, arms the track for recording. The 4th button is source. It switches the playback source for this track. It has 3 modes. Auto, follows the global session/arrangement toggle. Session, the track plays clips from the session view. And arrangement, the track plays from the timeline of the arrangement view. Clicking cycles through the modes. Below these buttons is the stop button, which stops the currently playing clip on this track. And below that, the duplicate, freeze, and delete buttons. Freeze renders the track to audio offline to reduce CPU load. When a track is frozen, you cannot edit its notes or effects until you unfreeze it. Clips. Below the header you can see rows of cells. These are clips. Each cell in a column is one clip that you can fill with music, MIDI notes, or an audio sample. Clicking a clip launches it in a loop. You can have many clips on one track and activate them in any order live. Scenes. To the right of the tracks is the scenes column. A scene is one row triggered vertically. Launching a scene fires all clips in that row simultaneously across all tracks. This lets you build the structure of a track through a sequence of scenes: verse, chorus, bridge. Each scene is a different section of the song. Scenes have their own names and colors, which you can set with the right mouse button. Scene chain. Above the scenes column there is a chain icon, scene chain. This is an automated sequence of scenes that you can program. Instead of clicking scenes manually, scene chain plays them one after another automatically, with modes sequential, reverse, ping-pong, random, and Brownian. You can also set how many times each scene should repeat before moving to the next one. Clip chains. A similar mechanism exists for individual clips. Each clip can have its own chain. Instead of looping one clip endlessly, clip chain lets you automatically move to the next clip when the current one finishes. Mixer in the session view. In the lower part of each track column, below the clips, you can see a mixer strip. There is a volume fader, left-right pan, and small FX bricks. This is a compact view of the effects assigned to that track. To the right of the session view, there are 2 panels. Return buses. A return bus is a special return track. It is used for group effects, such as a shared reverb or delay for many tracks at the same time. Each track can send a portion of its signal to a return bus. This is set in the mixer of each track. The return bus processes all those signals together through its own effects chain and mixes them to the output. The plus return button adds a new return bus. You can have as many as you want. Master panel. At the far right is the master panel. This is the main output channel of the entire mix. The master has its own effects chain that processes the whole mix together. Typically, you put an equalizer, mastering compression, and a limiter here. At the bottom of the master panel are level meters, peak and low pass, which show the loudness of the final signal leaving the application. At the very bottom of the window is a tab bar. Clicking a tab opens the bottom panel with various tools. There are 2 main tabs, Device and FX and Piano Roll, plus a browser tab on the right side of the bar. Device and FX. The Device and FX tab is the hub for instruments and effects of the selected track. It has several sub-tabs. Plugins. Here you see the interface of the instrument or synthesizer assigned to the track. You can control its parameters here. What a plugin is will be explained in a moment. Track FX, the audio effects chain of this track. You insert audio processors here that act after synthesis: equalizer, compressor, chorus, reverb, and so on. What track FX is will be explained in a moment. MIDI effects that act before the instrument. They process MIDI notes before they reach the synthesizer. For example, an arpeggiator that automatically spreads chords into a sequence of notes. Modulators automatically change parameters over time. You can connect an LFO, envelope, or other modulation source to any parameter of an instrument or effect. Further along are tabs for individual return buses, and finally master, everything accessible from the same place. What is a plugin? A plugin is an external or built-in digital instrument or effects processor that extends the capabilities of the application. Omni supports the CLAP and VST3 standards, meaning it is compatible with thousands of commercial and free plugins available on the market. Built-in synthesizers like Tomic and Tonalio are also plugins, just ones installed directly inside Omni. What is Track FX? Track FX is an audio effects chain attached to a specific track. Effects are processed one after another in order from top to bottom. Omni has a built-in set of effects: equalizer, compressor, reverb, delay, chorus, phaser, saturator, limiter, and others. You can also insert external effect plugins here. Piano roll. The piano roll tab opens the MIDI note editor for the selected clip. The piano roll view is a grid. Horizontally is time, vertically are notes from the lowest at the bottom to the highest at the top. You click to add notes, drag to change their length and position. The piano roll in Omni has 3 working modes for each clip, selected with the mode button. Piano roll, the classic note editor, best for melody and harmony. You draw notes of any length anywhere you like. Step sequencer, a simplified grid-based step sequencer, ideal for rhythms and repeating drum patterns. Instead of drawing notes, you switch steps in the grid on or off with a single click. Euclidean. The Euclidean sequencer automatically distributes a given number of hits evenly across a loop. For example, 3 hits in 16 steps spread as evenly as possible. This is a classic mathematical technique used in African and electronic music. Browser. The browser is a panel accessible from the button on the right side of the tab bar. It is used for browsing and loading sounds, samples, and plugins. You can browse audio files on disk, preview them, and drag them directly onto the selected track. There is also a plugins section. You scan folders containing installed plugins and drag the chosen plugin onto a track to load it. As you can see, Omni DAW has a clear structure. At the top, the toolbar with transport and project settings. In the center, the session view with tracks, clips, and scenes. On the right, return buses and master. At the bottom, details, instrument, effects, and the note editor. In the following parts of the tutorial, we will go deeper into each of these sections. You will learn to create your first sounds, program rhythms, apply effects, and build a complete track from scratch.